pretty good basic health, however, lots of bone marrow problems and lots of signs of anemia. You need to eat about, pound and a half, 2 pounds a day of meat. You have all kinds of smoke damage. Are you a smoker?
Yeah.
It's everywhere, all up in your chest. I mean, it's in your throat, in your lymph glands, in your neck. And it's very hardened, so causing you to go into leather. These are the signs that I've seen with people with lung cancer, pretty advanced lung cancer at a young age. So, I hope I scared the hell out of you.
Mm-hmm.
He's young though, it's hope.
Well, how old?
26.
It's not young when you have lung cancer. Lots of tars. You also do marijuana?
A little bit. Not anymore.
Looks like a lot of marijuana. Tars. It stayed up in the brain, mainly the regular tobacco tars stayed in the right side of the chest and some in the left side of the chest, but all the marijuana tars are in the brain and in the left clavicle area. Lots of lymphatic congestion because of it. So you have all these resins that have just hardened throughout your system and blocking everything. Since you have good basic health, you could turn this around in about probably 10 to 12 years. It's going to take a while. It's not going to be an overnight thing, but I don't see why you couldn't recover. It always makes me nervous when I see lung cancer. I'm not diagnosing that you have lung cancer, but it looks a lot like people that I've seen who've had lung cancer. So it just may take you a while. I smoked 2 packs of Lucky Strike non-filter a day, and I smoked marijuana every day for 2.5 years. My lungs were as in bad a shape as yours, and it took me a long time. I had so much pain, I lived on marijuana. And then when the marijuana made me feel worse, I had to stop it. So I was forced out of it. And I loved smoking. I just loved smoking.
I'm done with the marijuana.
Yeah.
It's the cigarettes that...
Mm-hmm. I loved smoking cigarettes. Just had to give it up. Lots of metals everywhere because of the resins. Hardening of the kidneys and the pancreas. So you've got a lot of smoke damage. Testy, left adrenal gland's okay. Right testes a little hardened. Right adrenal gland's okay. Right thyroid's very hardened. Some cirrhosis, looks like. On the left side too. How much do you smoke a day?
Probably a pack.
Yeah.
Not
What kind?
Camels.
Yeah. You're more macho than I was. Remember Lucky Strikes. After about 3 years on the diet, I suggest that you grow some, tobacco and start, rotting it, making it fermented, and then eating a little at a time with a little bit of vinegar and a little bit of wine, a good raw wine.
Okay.
So when you make the mixture, take the marijuana and tobacco. Do one a week. Don't do both of them in a week. And take about 3 or 4 leaves of the marijuana and just a section of a tobacco leaf, because those are really big. Maybe a circular slice 2 inches by 2 inches, and then mash that up in some water and maybe put a little honey in it so it starts fermenting quickly. And then put 1/4 teaspoon of wine in it and about 3 tablespoons of water, good drinking water. The Gerolsteiner would be a good one. And then drink that in the afternoon, somewhere around 3 o'clock. Okay? After you've had, about a 1/3 of an inch thick circular slice of green hard pineapple. with about 2 tablespoons of coconut cream. I don't want you to do it too fast. Only 2 tablespoons of coconut cream, 4 tablespoons of butter, and 1 tablespoon of cow's cream. I'd like you to mix that mixture in that whole thing, blend it together, and drink it. May taste a little funny, but you'll probably enjoy it. That'll help that. Meat, I'm going to suggest that you have always red and white meat together, 60% red, 40% white to help rebuild the lungs. Very important. You need a lot of white material, a lot of white meat to replace the cells in the lung because it looks like they're hardening pretty quickly. Have a lubrication formula or a half of one with each meat meal. But the lubrication formula for you will be a big one. 4 eggs, 4.5 ounces of butter, 2.5 tablespoons of lemon juice, and 1 tablespoon of honey. Did I say how many eggs?
4.
4, okay, good. You have up to 5, but 4 will be the average. Blend that together, make sure all the ingredients is room temperature or warmer so that the butter doesn't clump on top. That's evenly mixed, so you get an even moisturizing lubrication formula. Vegetable juice, did I say that? I think it was, pardon?
No.
Another rock and a hard place here. 80% celery, 5% pineapple puree, which means you blend the pineapple. Again, it has to be hard, unripe pineapple, and you pour that into the vegetable juice. And the rest cucumber. The silica from the cucumber will help your lungs, help bind with some of the crystals that are forming from the tars. You ever seen a lung that's from a smoker?
Sometimes, yeah.
Crystallized, crystals throughout, especially if they're menthols. Now, when you take a hot bath, I suggest you do it for about an hour and a half, no more. When you get out, move slow motion. I mean, you just move. You know, as an actor would if you were pretending to be a machine. Move very slowly, get warm, sit down for about 10 minutes, and then go out and take a walk. It doesn't have to be a brisk walk, but take a walk. You need to get those tars softened so you can clean them out of the system. Otherwise, it's going to stay in the lungs and cause leathery tissue, and that means tumor development.
Okay.
Hot water bottles under your arms at night, as often as you can.
Okay.
Take 2 days off a week from, the hot water bottles, and never 2 days in a row.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.